दृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिरिवोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ Verse 38. इदं त्वं रूप्यते भिन्ने सत्त्वाहन्ते तथेष्यतां सामान्यं च विशेषश्च ह्युभयत्रापि गम्यते. So Vidyaranya is analyzing a mechanism of superimposition by introducing two parts in every cognition, every perception. One is a samanyamsha, other is a visheshamsha. A common part and a specific part. Every cognition has two. So when I say this is man, or this is table, this is chair, this is book, etc. So this is a samanyamsha. Bookness, manness, and womanness, etc., etc. They are all specific part, visheshamsha. And well, in the right perception, samanyamsha also is real and visheshamsha also is real. Because both of them are clearly perceived, right? So, when I say this is man, so this also samanyamsha is clearly perceived and man also is clearly perceived by the eyes. So, both of them are valid because they are generated by pramana, eyes, and therefore both of them are valid, both of them are real. But when you say this is snake, this is also perception, this is also cognition. But in this samanyamsha and here also samanyamsha, visheshamsha is there. This is a samanyamsha, snake is a visheshamsha. But the problem is at the time of this erroneous perception, samanyamsha is real, but because but the snake which is not generated, that the cognition of the snake is not generated by the eyes. So well, it is erroneous actually. So even in every wrong cognition, samanyamsha is real because that cannot be negated, and therefore this you cannot negate it because it is generated by pramana, and therefore it is valid, it cannot be negated. Samanyamsha is satyam, and in a right perception or a wrong perception. But in a wrong perception, visheshamsha is not generated by the eyes, not generated by the pramana, therefore not valid. It is actually not real. And so, because that is due to semi-darkness, etc., or due to snake vasana, whatever. So, but it is not generated by this visheshamsha in a wrong perception, in a erroneous perception. It is not generated by pramana, by the eyes, etc. So, from this we can give a very beautiful definition for erroneous perception or adhyasa. What is that? A perception in which there is one real part and there is another unreal part. Satya Nruta Mithunikaranam. Anrutam means mithya. So Satya and Anrutam, Satyam and Mithya are Mithunikaranam, are combined. So that's a wrong perception or adhyasa or erroneous perception. If both are Satyamsha, Samanyamsha is also Satyam, Visheshamsha also is Satyam, then it is Jnana, right perception. If both of them are Mithya, there is no perception, because perception takes place through Pramana. And well, if both are wrong, means not generated by Pramana, there is no perception at all. So if Samanyamsha also is not real and Visheshamsha also is not real, then there is no perception at all. If both are real, both are generated by Pramana, then it's the right perception, knowledge. But if both are not unreal, no perception. But when one is real and other is unreal, there is a wrong perception. There is adhyasa. Please understand this. Knowledge and then no perception, no knowledge, and in between adhyasa. So both are right, knowledge. Both. So Samanyamsha and Visheshamsha. Because in every cognition, both the things are there. This is snake, this is rope, this is etc. Or this is computer, this is this. So well, if both this Samanyamsha and Visheshamsha, computer, etc. So if both are generated by the Pramana, definitely it's a right perception or knowledge. But if one is right, Samanyamsha is right, this refers to basically rope only, and that is generated by eyes only. You can say this when you see through the eyes. Well, but due to semi-darkness, etc., well, you are not able to see the other part of the rope, and therefore Visheshamsha you are not able to see, and therefore that is not generated by Pramana. So that is how adhyasa, this is a very beautiful definition, well, in which there is one real part, Samanyamsha is real, and the another is a unreal. The specific part is mithya. So this is how we can define this knowledge and adhyasa, the difference between knowledge and superimposition, wrong perception and right perception, etc. We can differentiate. So Satya Samanyamsha and Mithya Visheshamsha, right? Satya Samanyamsha and Mithya Visheshamsha. Well, when they are mixed together, then adhyasa or superimposition takes place. Please understand, this adhyasa is the bread and butter of a Vedanta. We have to be very clear about this adhyasa. And therefore, we are right now understanding this mechanism of superimposition or adhyasa. So anyway, now shell, silver, and in that also, well, there is a, because that's an example given, and so there is a Samanyamsha, Satya Samanyamsha, and there is a Mithya Visheshamsha. So when you say this is silver, well, this is refers to actually this is a Samanyamsha, this is, and that is actually refers to the shell. But the Visheshamsha is not basically is understood, and therefore it's a Mithya Visheshamsha. Instead of shell, I say silver. Same way, even in a dream also you can say that the dream I is a Anrutamsha. And in waking state also same way. When I say I myself wrote this note, etc., there also erroneous cognition is there. So I myself drive the car. So here I, that is actually this Chidabhasa or Ahankara or Jiva, which is a finite entity, which is a Chidabhasa, which is ego, etc. Well, it is Mithya Visheshamsha. Because I myself drive the car. Myself, well, that myself, the selfhood, well, is Satya Samanyamsha, and it refers to the Kutastha or Chit. So I myself drive the car, that myself is a Satya Samanyamsha, and we are going to discuss further why this self is called Samanya, etc. So, but that refers to Kutastha, and I, well, drive, etc. All this refers to Mithya Visheshamsha. Why Mithya? Because I myself am Brahman. I don't drive the car. If I say, being a Vedantin, I don't drive the car. I myself never drive the car. Is it true or not? It is true. It's true. Then myself remains there also. I myself drive the car. I myself don't drive the car. So myself is common. And I myself don't drive the car. There you say, what this Swami is telling? What is this he is talking? He is driving and he says he doesn't drive. But you don't surprise by my statement. In fact, you feel that yeah, he is telling right. And therefore, that myself really refers to Kutastha only, which doesn't drive, which is Akarta actually. So myself is a common part, and that's a Satya Samanyam. Sha refers to Kutastha only, which is Satyam. But I myself drive the car. That I refers to that Chidabhasa, which is a Mithya entity. Jiva is a Mithya entity. So I, as a driver, etc., is a Mithya part. So this is how, this is wrong, this is also wrong perception. So not only just in a dream, but in our waking state also, all our perceptions and regarding the self also has this problem of adhyasa. I myself drive the car, I myself cook the food, I myself do this, etc., etc. When you say all this, or I myself see this phenomena, you are not a seer actually, right? And therefore, that refers to, this all is a adhyasa. And that is how Bhashyakara says there in Brahma Sutra Bhashyam, Laukika Vyavara, Naisargikoyam Laukika Vyavara. All the Vyavara in the transaction in the waking state. Of course, in a dream also there is a Vyavara, it's a different type of a Vyavara. So, all the transaction takes place in a waking state and a dream state. All adhyasa. If in waking state there is no adhyasa, why should we study now? So, in order to understand myself as basically understood as a Kutastha only, myself, in order to connect that myself with the Kutastha and not with that I, Ahankara or a Jiva, well, we are studying this. So, to understand myself as Kutastha, Kutastha is covered, Avrutam, that Visheshamsha. So, we are studying this. So, anyway, so you yourself sit here, so yourself is a Satya Samanyamsha, you etc. is that referring to that individual is a Mithya Visheshamsha. So all our Vyavara is like that. So he, she, it, except you, all are Mithya Visheshamsha, and that myself, yourself, herself etc. is a Satya Samanyamsha, and that is referring to the Kutastha. So since we have mixed up, right, you, yourself, he, himself, she, herself, I, myself, where we have mixed up together. So I, you, he, etc. referring to the individual, which is Mithya Visheshamsha, and myself, yourself, etc. is a Satya Samanyamsha, and these two are mixed up. And therefore, our Vyavara, even in the waking state, is erroneous perception. That is Adhyasa. Question. What is Satya Visheshamsha in case of an example? Okay, Mithya Visheshamsha you talked about. What is Satya Visheshamsha in case of an example? Well, ropeness, right? When you say this is snake, snake is a Mithya Visheshamsha. This means is a Satya Samanyamsha mixed together. Okay, I understood that this is snake is a wrong perception, Adhyasa. But when I say this is rope, it's a right perception. And therefore, the ropeness is a Satya Visheshamsha. This also Satya Samanyamsha. Satya Samanyamsha plus Satya Visheshamsha. Knowledge. So this is rope, knowledge. This is snake, wrong perception, erroneous perception, Adhyasa, etc. I hope you have understood. So in case of self-knowledge also, what is Satya Visheshamsha? Kutastha or Brahman is a Satya Visheshamsha. What is covered during Ajnanam? Well, Satya Visheshamsha is covered. And well, so self is real and it has been covered. Self is referring to Kuta. That is how we say. Vedanta talks about self-knowledge. So that means what? If I replace that statement with this, Vedanta talks about Kutastha knowledge or Brahma knowledge. Right? And Vedanta talks about self-knowledge. Means self is referring to what? Kutastha. Clear? Self does not refer to I, he, etc. Self refers to Kutastha. So self, that selfhood is a Satya Samanyamsha, referring to the Kutastha, Brahman, etc. Let's look at this shloka. We have not seen this shloka yesterday, the words we have not seen. So, idam tvam here. Idam tvam means this is, Samanyamsha. This is, idam tvam. Idam means this. So, idam tvam means this is a Samanyamsha. Rupyata, and so, well, Visheshamsha. Rupyata means that silverness. That's a Visheshamsha. Both are binne. So you can see here there is a samasa, idantva rupyate. Actually the word is, it's a samasa between idantvam and rupyata. So idantvam cha rupyata cha, dvanda samasa. Idantvam rupyate. Mala male, malaha, right? So feminine noun, akaranta. And therefore, and it is dvivachana because it's dvanda samasa between idantvam and rupyata. So idantvam cha rupyata cha idantva rupyate, and binna also, from that binna binne. So idantvam and rupyata. So samanyamsha and rupyata, that is visheshamsha, both are different, binne. Because why both are different? Because one is satyam, other is mithya. What is satyam? Idantvam is satyam. But that rupyata, well, that silverness, etc., is mithya. And we have, so we have joined them together and say, well, this is silver. So that is adhyasa. So this is, we used to, when both are of a different order of a reality and when you combine, it is adhyasa. Both are of a different order of a reality and you combine, it is adhyasa. Satya, Nrute, this much word you remember. If you don't want to remember anything in Sanskritam, don't worry. But this much you remember. That's Satya, Anruta, Mithunikaranam. Mithunikaranam means combining, mixing. Satyam and Anrutam. Anrutam means mithya. When you combine two things of a different order of a reality, Satyam and Mithya, Mithunikaranam, combining, there is adhyasa, superimposition. And therefore, this is, this, and well, that is not correct actually. So, actually, which cannot be connected, we connect. Why? Because of Maya, because of ignorance, we connect it. Ignorance of what? Ignorance of the self, ignorance of Kutastha. And therefore, we connect these two together. We connect. That's a glory of a Maya. Why you brought Maya now? Because basically, agatita gatana patiyasi. Agatitam, which is not possible, which cannot happen. There is a gat dhatu is there. Gatate means to happen, to be possible. So agatitam, which cannot happen, which is not possible, gatitam. Agatita gatana patiyasi, which is very clever in bringing about what cannot happen, happens. So that is how, due to Maya, the two things which are of a different order of reality cannot combine together but are combined. And that is adhyasa. Like I tell you, like a person in a waking state, a businessman in a waking state, and another businessman in a dream state signed a contract of a $1 million. And and the person in a waking, well, they sign a contract in a dream. And then person, when he wakes up, then he does not take that contract as a real, right? And therefore, that contract is not a contract actually, real contract. So basically, he cannot tell to everyone that I got a $1 billion order for supplying certain product. He cannot say that. Even though he has signed a contract with a dream businessman, well, still he cannot take. Because a waker and a dreamer cannot combine together. And therefore, so this is how, but this has happened. Why it has happened? Naisargika. Bhashyakara says in Brahma Sutra, Naisargika. Naisargika means Nisargataha Agataha. Nisarga means from the creation, from the beginningless time, this is coming down. What? This adhyasa. But why? Because of ignorance. But so ignorance is what? Beginningless. Therefore adhyasa is what? Beginningless. And therefore all, all our vyavahara is adhyasa. Everything is adhyasa. Whatever you talk during waking state every day is simply superimposition. Simply superimposition. Because you never say I am Brahman or I am Kutastha. You say everything other than that. The Brahman is or Kutastha is Akarta Abhokta. And you say I ate this well, I like this very much, I don't like this, I did this, I did not do this. All this indicates adhyasa. So here it says, so idantam rupyate bhinne. So then he says, tatha. So this is in the case of example, right? Idantvam rupyata. This is silver. In that two amshas are mixed together, samanyamsha, which is satyam, and visheshamsha, which is mithya, called silver, are mixed together, and you have a perception, wrong perception, erroneous perception, that, what is that perception? This is silver. It's a adhyasa. Tatha, in the same way, ahanta, sattva hante tat ishyata. So same way here also, swatvam, selfhood, and which refers to actually kutastha, and ahanta, I-hood. So mithya visheshamsha. Swatvam is selfhood, which is samanyamsha, and ahanta means I-hood, which is mithya visheshamsha. Swatvam refers to kutastha or a chit, ahanta refers to chidabhasa, I-hood is referring to chidabhasa. Well, both are different. Chit and chidabhasa are different. Chit is satyam, chidabhasa is mithya, and so they are different, but we have mixed together, right? So one is satyam, other is mithya, and how come they combine? Well, how do I combine, etc.? Well, I myself do it out of ignorance. Swattam cha ahanta cha swatva hante. Here also, see, you understand one, I would like to tell you one more thing here. This tvam and ta, both are used as a pratyaya, as a suffix to the word, in order to understand them as an abstract noun. Both refer to abstract noun. In English we call it as a ness or hood. So ahanta, aham means I, and ta, ness, I-ness or I-hood, whatever. Okay? And swatvam, say svam means self, tvam, ness, selfness or selfhood. So in order to, then ness and hood is for what? Is abstract noun, to make an abstract noun from another noun, proper noun. And so, and tvam or ta, both refers to that. So purushata, mrigata, pashuta, etc., etc., kalankita, jadata, ta. That's a it's a abstract noun. Jadata, inertia or inertness. And so ta is a feminine. I mean, it's akaranta means a feminine, and tvam means a neuter. So you can make an abstract noun either in a neuter, or you can make an abstract noun either in a feminine also. And so if you want to make a feminine noun, abstract noun, then you apply ta. And if you want to make an abstract noun in neuter, you apply tvam. And please understand this, entire bhashyam is full of this. Entire bhashyam. Everywhere you will find this tvam and ta. Not only just bhashyam, in tika, tippani, everywhere this is there. So, and it applies with it also is combined with the sixth case, etc. When it comes, I will explain you that. Anyway, so here, so swatvam and ahanta. Swatvam cha ahanta cha swatva hante. So in the same manner, well, selfhood and this ahanta, this I-ness, etc., well, both are mixed together. Swatvam, selfness, is a satya samanyamsha. Ahanta, I-ness, etc., is a mithya visheshamsha, and both are combined together. And therefore, that is ubhayatrapi in both the cases now. So see, samanyam cha visheshascha. Well, in both, either in example or in our case of a self, etc. Well, in both the cases, well, this adhyasa is there. Both the amshas are there. Samanyamsha is there, which is satyam, and visheshamsha also is there, which is mithya. Ishyatam means they should be understood differently because they are both of a different order of a reality. So, ubhayatrapi iti gamyate means it is experienced by us. Samanyamsha and visheshamsha both are experienced by us, and samanyamsha and visheshamsha both are of the same order of reality, right perception. Both are of a different order of reality, wrong perception, adhyasa. So in previous verse, when second line, in verse number 39, now he will be explaining you this samanyamsha called selfhood. How can you say it is samanya? Now he is going to explain that. Of course, I have explained you. In our Vyavahara itself is there. A Jnani also says, I myself am Brahman. Or we say self-knowledge itself indicates that self refers to Brahman. So that is very clear. But in Vyavahara, the person who doesn't have knowledge of Brahman, etc., is oneself. Still he uses myself, herself, etc. We use, and therefore it's a samanyamsha, and it is present even in the ignorant person. It is present even in the knowledgeable person, in a wise person. So let's see verse number 39. Devadatta swayam gachet tvam vikshasva swayam tatha am swayam na shaknomi ityevam loke prayujyate. So he, in order to explain this, swayam, selfhood, is common in all our perception. It's a samanyamsha, and he is taking all the three persons, first person, second person, third person, and takes example. First example of a third person. Devadatta swayam gachet. Devadatta will go by himself. So that Devadatta refers to a Chidabhasa, right? Individual. So, so Devadatta swayam gachet, Devadatta will go by himself. He does not require escort, So he comes and he goes, etc. So this is an example of a third person where swayam is used. Swayam is there with the third person. Then, because swayam as such doesn't. But how can you say that's a erroneous perception? That's a erroneous perception. How can you say? Because that swayam means self. Self does not go. Self does not come. There are teachers who will not say that I don't go anywhere, I don't come anywhere, I am all pervading. Instead they say self is all pervading. Instead their self does not go anywhere, self does not come, etc. And therefore, you understand. Very well you understand, even if instead of I, if I say, self, just self, then you definitely understand that self basically is Kutastha, it does not go anywhere, it is Brahman, etc. So it is simpler. But anyway, it is used with the third person. We'll see it a little differently. So Devadatta swayam gachet. So Devadatta refers to definitely refers to that is in third person and refers to the Chidabhasa, because Chidabhasa moves right along with the medium, along with the body. Basically, the Chit cannot move at all. So Devadatta swayam gachet referred to. Devadatta here means he. Instead of Devadatta, you can say, he will go by himself. You can say that way also. Then he or Devadatta, etc., refers to Chidabhasa only. Because going, etc., coming, etc., is possible for Chidabhasa, not for Chit. And therefore, definitely this is a Mithya Visheshamsha. Anyway, so Swayam goes with the third person. Gachet, is not that relevant, but we use it that way. Chalo. Then the second example of a second person. Tvam swayam vikshasva. Tvam, you, second person. So you see yourself, may you see yourself. Vikshasva means may. So basically, vikshasva, it's a lot. It's Atmanepada. Lot means it's an imperative mood. So may you see yourself. So here, tvam, you refers to basically mithya visheshamsha. Why? Because it is chidabhasa. But Atma does not see at all. So he is seer, right? May you see yourself means that you is what? Seer. That seer is Chidabhasa. Therefore, it's a Mithya Visheshamsha, only second person. While again, the Swayam goes with that. Right? Tvam Swayam Vikshasva, you, yours, may you see yourself, etc. Anyway, and so this is an example of a second person. Third example he gives. What is that? Aham Swayam na shaknomi. Aham Swayam na shaknomi. Aham, first person. Aham Swayam na shaknomi. I myself can't do. Na shaknomi, can't do. So, shak dhatu means to be possible, etc. And so, I myself, aham Swayam na shaknomi, I myself can't do. So, well, the Swayam goes in all the three persons. So, definitely that all the three persons are mithya, right? Swayam is not basically first person, Swayam is not a second person, Swayam is not third person. Why? Because Swayam goes with all the three persons, and therefore you cannot say Swayam is a first person. No, because Swayam goes with the second person also. You cannot say Swayam is a second person only. No, Swayam refers to the third person also, right? And therefore Swayam, please understand this, Swayam transcends the person. Swayam transcends the person. Swayam transcends I, you, he, etc. Swayam transcends Chidabhasa. What transcends Chidabhasa is Kutastha, Brahman. Right? What transcends Chidabhasa is Kutastha, Chit. Chit transcends Kutastha. Chit transcends the person. Aham, I, you, he, etc. Anyway, so this is the way we prove. Swayam refers to Kutastha. If you challenge me, how can you say Swayam refers to that selfhood, refers to Kutastha, and therefore you say it is a Satya Samanya Amsha, present everywhere, in a Gnani and in a Ajnani. In Ajnani also, first person, second person, third person, everywhere the Swayam is pervading. If it pervades everything, therefore it transcends everything. Simple rule. If something pervades something, that transcends everything. Yeah. So it is not confined to one person. First person, second person, third person. All the persons. This is just by the way. I should not say this, but I am telling you right now. See, if something pervades everything and transcends, basically all the three are non-separate from that. All the three persons are non-separate from that self, but the self transcends all the three. No, Swamiji, all the three persons transcend also the self. Self transcends all the person, and all the three persons also transcend the self. Then you have a two reality. If one transcends the other and other transcends the one, first one, both are real. But that is not the case. Swayam definitely pervades aham. Swayam pervades tvam. Swayam pervades the third person, Devadatta or us, he, she, it, etc. Therefore, if it pervades everything, it transcends everything. And all the three are basically mithya. I tell you, if you really want to see something regarding this, please refer to Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, that Jnanam Brahma. There, this has been explained very well. We of course saw that Jnanam means not it is knower, not it is knowledge, not it is an object of knowledge. It pervades everything. Jnata, Jneya and Jnanam. It pervades all the three and it transcends all the three. If Jnanam Brahma is referring to only the knower, then it excludes both other two. Could you follow? And therefore, definitely if it pervades to the first person, suppose this Swayam, self. Today whole class is on this Swayam. Because whole class is on this self, and he is going to tell lastly that, oh, this is a Kutasthadi Prakranam, why you are talking something other than Kutastha? Please see, Vidyaranya is not using word Kutastha at all, even though the chapter is called Kutasthadi Prakranam. Then the person like me ask a question, are you discussing Kutastha or are you discussing something else? We are not interested in yourself and this and etc. We are interested in Kutastha. He is going to say, this Swayam is a Kutastha. Self is Kutastha. He is going to say at the end. But how? That is what we are discussing. Is Swayam basically transcends all the three persons that you can very well see. I myself, you yourself, he himself, she herself. So it pervades all the three persons, and therefore definitely transcends three persons. If gold basically is present in a bangle also, in a ring also, and etc. everywhere, then gold really transcends any name and form. You can understand very well. Name and form are non-separate from the gold, whatever, a ring, bangle, whatever. But the gold transcends all the three. Transcending means the reality. Transcending is the real, actually. Pervading all the three, but independent of all the three is called transcendence. Pervading all the three, yet independent of it is transcendence. Transcendence is not, yogis. So in Nirvikalpaka Samadhi, one realizes that I am beyond all this, beyond words, beyond thoughts, beyond Ananda. So beyond Ananda there is one sannyasi called beyond Ananda. Pujya Swami used to tell us. So beyond Ananda, transcendence. Transcending means pervading all, yet independent of all. That's called transcendence. This is a very common word in a spiritual, it's a spiritual jargon. Transcendental meditation, transcendental this. Anyway, because transcending is not living all these things and going above. Yeah, what you live also will be of the same reality then. This is not. All the three are non-separate. Anyway, this by the way, I need not discuss here, but this Swayam basically refers to all the three, and all the three are mutually exclusive, but Swayam is inclusive in all the three. That's all I mean. All the three excludes each other. Where Aham is, Tvam is not. Where Tvam is not, Idam is not. All the three exclude each other, but the Swayam is inclusive. It is pervading all the three. Iti loke prayujyate. These are the expressions we commonly use in world. And therefore, whenever you use myself, herself, etc., really referring to the Kutastha only. That's a Satya Samanyamsha. Whenever you say this is, really referring to the shell only. But because of a semi-darkness, etc., you are not able to appreciate the Visheshamsha called shellness, and it is covered, and instead you project silver, Adhyastha Visheshamsha. Clear now? So this is how, please understand this superimposition. He is going to discuss in 18 verses. It's so important it is. Anyway, so in this example, we should note that, so when we give a rope snake example, etc., or this Shukti Rajat example, so in example, Samanyamsha comes first. This is what I want to draw your attention. In example of a rope snake, or in example of a shell silver, well, Samanyamsha comes first. This is snake. This is silver. Whatever. So where this is, that Samanyamsha comes first, Visheshamsha comes later. But in case of self, etc., well, the Visheshamsha, which is Mithya, comes first. I myself do this. He himself do this. So that I, he, you, all this is Adhyastha Visheshamsha comes first. And that Swayam, this is Satya Samanyamsha, comes later. In example, Samanyamsha comes first, Vishesha, Adhyastha Vishesha Amsha comes later. In case of self, that Adhyastha Vishesha Amsha comes first and Samanya Amsha comes later. Right? So I myself do this. He himself do this. That selfhood, which is Satya Samanya Amsha, comes later. I, you, he all come first, which is Adhyastha Vishesha Amsha. This is a difference between example and a original. I use somehow original. Original is self. So this is, anyway, this is the thing. Let's go to verse number 40. Swamiji, it is too much. What can I do? This is Vidyaranya. Okay. Idam rupyamidam vastram iti yadvadidam tatha asau tamahamityeshu swayamityabhimanyate. Now in verse number 40, he extends this corollary from verse 39. Satya Samanyamsha will join every Mithya Vishesha Amsha. It inheres in all the Mithya Vishesha Amsha. Swayam, which is Satya Samanyamsha, goes with Aham, goes with Tvam, goes with Asau, or goes with Saha, goes with Tat, goes with Sa, Saha, he, Sa, she, or Tat, it. Third person. So, Swayam, Satyamsha goes with all this Mithya Visheshamsha. Satya Samanyamsha pervades all Mithya Amsha, Visheshamsha. And so logically it is true also. We have proved it also. And can you guess what is the reason why it is pervading? Satya Samanyamsha pervades all the. Because by definition, Mithya is that which does not have its own existence. And therefore it has to pervade. At least to give them existence, it has to reach out. It's a reaching out action actually. On the part of self. Yeah, reaching out. Reaching out. See, and therefore, so basically, Mithya is that which does not have its own existence. And therefore, this Aham, Tvam, Saha, Sa, Tat, any person, they stand on account of Swayam. If Swayam is not there, which is Satya Samanyamsha, if that is not there, all this I, you, we, etc. cannot exist. Mithya Vastu can't enjoy the existence on its own. So it has to borrow and somebody has to lend. And who can lend, you know very well. Who can lend existence? Well, which has existence, right? Who can lend isness? Which has isness. And therefore, one beggar can't borrow, money from other beggar, right? No, Swamiji, but he borrows from beggar. But that beggar is not beggar then. Okay? And therefore, if you can borrow, a beggar borrows money from the beggar, well, definitely he is not a beggar. And therefore, definitely, so one who has money can lend. One who has existence can lend existence. And therefore, that is Kutastha, which is existence, which is Sat, can lend existence to all. I, you, he, she, it, all. And therefore, they are all Mithya Visheshamsha, and they are basically dependent on existence. Anything which is dependent for existence on something else, that thing is non-separate from that thing. If pot borrows existence from the clay, pot is non-separate from clay. Because the very existence is borrowed. Therefore, it cannot exist independently. Therefore, it is non-separate. And therefore, basically, so either we say non-separate, either borrows existence, either Mithya, same thing. Because you should not get bored. And so we sometimes use, sometimes Mithya, sometimes borrow, sometimes, non-separate. So you feel it's all different. It's not at all different. Anything which is non-separate, definitely borrowing existence. If it is separate, means it has a separate existence. If it has separate existence, where is Mithya? Where is Mithyatva? And therefore, basically, I, you, etc., all mithya visheshamsha, and because they can't enjoy isness from on its own. So it has to go. That's what Bhagavan said in verse 16 of chapter 12, chapter 2. Na asataha vidyate bhavaha. Asataha bhavaha na vidyate. Asataha, a mithya vastu, cannot enjoy, bhavaha means existence, cannot enjoy existence. Means on its own, you have to supply that. Sataha abhavaha na vidyate. A sat vastu, a real thing, well, abhavaha, cannot have non-existence. Abhavaha, non-existence. A satya vastu is a one which cannot have a non-existence at any time. And asataha bhavaha na vidyate. A mithya vastu cannot enjoy existence on its own. Bhagavan has defined already in chapter 2. Asataha bhava. Asat means then mithya. Please understand. Asat means not non-existence. Non-existence cannot have existence on its own. This is what that Bhagavan cannot say like this. This we can understand. A Sarvagnya Paramatma has not to tell you a non-existence cannot have existence on its own. What is this? What is this? So therefore, asat means basically mithya, which appears, which is a matter of a perception, matter of an inference, which is available for pramana, yet it is mithya. Yet don't enjoy existence on its own, that is mithya. Which is never available for pramana is a non-existent thing. Which is never available for anybody at any time by any pramana is mithya. At any time, at any place, by anybody is non-existent. But which appears for everybody, which is an object of a perception, object of inference, object of the words, object of presumption, object of even anupalabdhi, etc. Or object, upamana also. It's a subject matter of illustration also. Yet, it does not enjoy existence of its own. That is called mithya. And therefore, isness of the snake is borrowed, isness of the dream world is borrowed from waker, etc. Isness of snake is borrowed from the rope, etc. And therefore, satya samanyamsha, therefore it is satyam. This selfhood is which is pervading all the three, I, you, he, she, it, etc. All. Therefore, that must be supplying the existence to them. And therefore, that is satyamsha. And if it is then self, which is satyam, then that self refers to what? What is satyam? Please tell us. Is Brahman satyam or this I, you, etc. is satyam? Refers to Kutastha Brahman only. Could you follow now? Why self refers to Brahman? Why you say it refers to Brahman only, but it is covered and therefore it goes with this I, you, etc. Well, basically because it pervades all the three and lends existence to all the three, and therefore that is satyamsha. And what lends existence? That is a satyam, that is Kutastha, that is Brahman. So satya samanyamsha has to be necessarily pervade mithya visheshamsha. Yeah, that's how in Dakshinamurti Stotram also, yasyaiva spuranam sadatmakam asat kalparthakam bhasate. So anyway, so this you know very well. Sat atmakam, sad rupam, which is in the form of existence, satchidananda, etc. So mithya vastu is basically borrowed from satya vastu. Idam rupyam, idam vastram, he is telling. Idam rupyam, this is cloth, this is silver, etc., etc. In all cognitions, yadvat, just as in these examples, idam, which is satya samanyamsha, tatha. So idam rupyam, idam vastram, etc. Idam vastram is this is cloth. Well, that refers to waking world. And idam rupyam, well, that also in the waking world, but that's a wrong perception. And idam vastram, in a right perception. So that idam basically is satya samanyamsha, pervading everything. And same way, well, swayam iti abhimanyate, satya samanyamsha called swayam, well, is identified with what? Identified with all the persons. Asau devadattaha, swayam, or swayam if goes with the tvam, swayam goes with the aham. So, definitely all are this mithya chidavasa. And so Swayam is impersonal. Right? Swayam is impersonal. Goes with any person. So it is impersonal. So it doesn't, any person cannot divide it. Because it can go with I. I and Tvam are dividing each other. I and he are dividing each other. We have a khanda. But Swayam goes with I also, Swayam goes with Tvam also, Swayam goes with Idam also. But Swayam basically does not have any division. That's what it is. Akhandam, Ekarasam. So Swayam, I am trying to prove that Swayam refers to Kutastha only. Vidyaranya has not to use word Kutastha at all in a Kutastha Deepa Prakaranam. Word Swayam is enough. Swayam is the self, and self means Kutastha only, which is Akhandam, which is all pervading, which lend existence to all the Mithya Visheshamsha called I, you, etc. And therefore, this is what. But why you call Mithya, that I have already told you, because it borrows existence. All these persons borrow existence. Anyway. So if you want to catch Kutastha, well, don't give your attention to I, you, etc. Your perceptions, your vyavara is enough. Pay attention to the self, which you are using also. I, myself, that self is Brahman. Don't connect the self with the I, because it is Satya Samanyamsha, which is Akhandam, which goes with all the person. Basically, it is impersonal, and therefore, definitely, please kindly pay attention to this, where therefore, the self which is self-revealing, all in your Vyavara, that self is referring only to Kutastha. But then why don't I know? That's what I say, it is Avrutam. It is Avrutam. Kutastha, you are Kutastha, that is Avrutam. That is how you are going with the I, you, etc. You are going with that you are saying I am a Jiva. And therefore, so Vedanta, this Pramana well definitely removes this ignorance. And Avrutam Kutastha becomes now Anavrutam. So that is how we even say self-knowledge, etc. also. So if self is misunderstood as I, you, etc., well, it is a mistake. Eshu means in all this, basically, asau, tvam, aham, in all this eshu, in all these persons, swayam iti abhimanyate, swayam identifies with everything, and therefore, well, it pervades everything, which is satyam. Verse 41. Ahantvad vidyatam svatvam kutasthete na kim tava swayam shabdartha evaishah kutastha iti me bhavet. So a student raises a question. Okay. I have understood everything. But that ahantvad vidyatam sattvam. Ahantvad sattvam vidyatam. So, well, vidyatam, let it be different. So, sattvam means this selfhood, let it be different from ahantvat. So, ahantvat means from this I-ness, etc. So, let the selfhood be different from I-ness, etc. But why are you talking all these things right now? You have introduced chapter 6 as a Kutastha Deepa Prakarana, which is Adhishthanam of everything. I am interested in Kutastha, I am not interested in your Swayam. So Swayam is different from Aham, Swayam is different from Tvam, Swayam is different from transcend. Different means transcend. So Swayam transcends Aham, Swayam transcends Tvam, Swayam transcends Idam, Swayam transcends Saha, Sa, Tat, everything. That is, let it be so. Vidyata, let it be so. But then Kutasthe kim tava? Kutasthe tena kim tava? Well, basically, I am interested in Kutastha. Well, definitely, and you are not using word Kutastha at all. Vidyaranya says, oh dear Shishya, Swayam is another word for Kutastha. Well, one person said that basically, well, I am going to Coimbatore. He lives in Chennai. And he says, I am going to Coimbatore via Nilgiri Express. Other person says, I am going to Coimbatore via Blue Mountain Express. These two are different railways, trains or what? Sir, Nilgiri. Nil means blue and Giri means mountain. And therefore, this is. So somebody is asking, Blue Mountain Blue Mountain Express leaves at what time? And this Nilgiri Express leaves at what time? I would like to know so that I can choose a time. I can choose one of the train. Yeah. Nilgiri Express is equal to Blue Mountain Express. Okay? And therefore, well, you are talking about Swayam. I am interested in Kutastha. Why don't you talk about Kutastha? Oh dear sir, Swayam is Kutastha. How much we have to say now? If anything pervades everything, that itself has no division. If it is divided, but how can you say it has no division? It pervades aham and it pervades tvam, which are mutually exclusive. Mutually exclusive. You cannot use, when you use word aham, you cannot use tvam. Aham is not tvam, tvam is not aham. I am not you, you are not I. But Swayam goes there and here and everywhere. Therefore Swayam pervades everything. Swayam has no division. What is not division and what pervades everything and which lends existence to everything is Kutastha, is Brahman. And therefore Swayam, even though we use word Swayam, we are talking about Kutastha. So, well, it's a design device used by Vidyaranya. It is nowhere. If you come across this kind, instead of Kutastha and Brahman and etc., just by word Swayam, he proves entire Kutastha Prakarana. This is an ingenious method of a Vidyaranya. And why he has to say Swayam? And why he has not to say Kutastha? You are not familiar with word Kutastha. You are familiar with Swayam. I am telling you this. He is making Brahma Vidya so simple that what you refer as a self all the time in your Vyavahara is this Kutastha. If I talk Kutastha, after some time your eyebrows are, rises. What is this Kutastha? But when I say self, myself, herself, you feel comfortable. This is not to create a confusion. This is to make Brahma Vidya so simpler, which he is telling that in your all expression, what is self-revealing, that is this myself, herself, etc., that is Kutastha. In order to understand Kutastha, don't transcend and go to Samadhi. Don't transcend and go to Samadhi. Your expression reveals Kutastha is right there. Kutastha is there, Adhyasa is there, Chidabhasa is there. Everything is proved just by your expression. Just by your expression. It may be any language. I am talking to you right now in English. Even if I start talking in Gujarati, I will say that in the words of Gujarati person, well, he is referring to Kutastha. And there is a superimposition. And there is a Chidabhasa. Everything is there. And well, switching over that myself, etc., to Kutastha rather than to that individual, that's Adhyastha Visheshamsha, is self-knowledge. Referring to that selfhood which is Satya Samanyamsha, to Kutastha, etc., by understanding that Swayam which is all pervading, which is impersonal, which does not have any division, which lends existence to every person, first, second, third person. Well, that's impersonal. And that is myself, which is so aparoksham, which is self-revealing, is this Kutastha, is Brahman. And so instead of using word Kutastha, he uses the word Swayam in order to make Brahma Vidya simpler, self-knowledge simpler. This is the idea. So it's an ingenious device used by Vidyaranya. This is a contribution of Pancadasi. So Kutasthe tena kim tava? Ahantvat swatvam vidyata. Let this aham and swam, etc. are different. Kutasthe kim bhavati? What understanding I gather regarding Kutastha? Why did student ask this? Because he does not know that Swayam is Kutastha. Swayam, so Vidyaranya says, oh dear student, Swayam Shabdarthaha eva esha Kutastha. Swayam Shabdarthaha. The meaning of the word Swayam is Esha Kutastha. Esha means this which is so proximate. That is that Kutastha iti me bhavet. This is my approach in this section, and therefore even if I don't use word Kutastha, and I am not using, in previous all verses he has not used word Kutastha, and still it is a Kutasthadik Prakranam. Okay? So it is a Kutasthadik Prakranam without using word Kutastha, and I have given you the reason why he uses the word Swayam instead of Kutastha. He is proving that Swayam is Kutastha without using the word Kutastha. So Swayam refers to Kutastha. So this is the thing. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.